Tell me you're not thinking of taking the black.
And go celibate? The whores would go begging from dawn to Casterly Rock.
Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So Game of Thrones Season 4 just cast Pedro Pascal as the biggest new cast member on Game of Thrones. That's right, he's going to be playing the Red Viper, Oberyn Martell. Since he's going to be such a big deal in Season 4, I thought I'd give him his own video. But first, I'll talk a little bit about who he is and who the Martells are, and then I'll talk a little bit about spoilers, so don't worry, there'll be a big spoiler warning. So the Red Viper is the younger brother of the Prince of Dorne. Think of it as like the really sandy southern beach area of Westeros, like the California of Westeros, basically. Very sunny, very hot, lots of beaches. So I like to think of the Red Viper as a really dark version of Loras. He's a really amazing fighter. In fact, the only person in Westeros that could really beat him is dead. It was Rhaegar Targaryen. Is one of the only people, in addition to Barristan Selmy, who unhorsed him in a tournament. Another really important thing for his character is that when he was younger, he actually studied to be a maester, but quit halfway through. He actually has a really working knowledge of medicine and poisons, which will come into the spoiler section. So one of the other really awesome things about him is that he has these 8 bastard daughters that they call the Sand Snakes. They're not technically a mercenary band, but they call them the Sand Snakes because they're basically badasses. Think of them like the Uma Thurman character in Kill Bill. Basically just a really, really badass fighter. In fact, I think it's only a coincidence that the characters in Uma Thurman's assassin group were nicknamed after snakes. But one of the other really cool things is that the Red Viper's nephew is actually named Quentin. I don't know, Quentin Tarantino, Sand Snakes, the Mamba, it all gets really meta and really funny. Just a coincidence? I don't know. Let me know what you think. Write in the comments if you think that Quentin Tarantino actually read A Song of Ice and Fire. I don't know that the book would have been quite been out at the time because I think the movie was around 1995. Someone might be able to correct me on this. One of the other really cool things about Dorne that's different from the other places in Westeros is that women have status. So if you remember, Cersei is actually always complained a lot about how she wishes she had been born a man so that people would listen to what she has to say. She, has all these things to offer, but no one wants to hear her because she's a woman. Well, if she had been born in Dorne, that actually would not have been a problem for her. She would have grown up and been very powerful. Another important thing to understand about the Martells is that Elia Targaryen, who was murdered during the rebellion against the crown, was actually a Martell because of a deal that he made with Tyrion when Myrcella got sent to Dorne in Season 2. The Red Viper is now coming to King's Landing in Season 4 to get a seat on the small council as minor reparations for his sister's death. He's also going to spend a lot of the season trying to find out who actually killed his sister. We'll talk more about that in spoilers, which are actually coming in, wait for it, now. Okay, we're in spoiler territory now, so let's talk about the awesome stuff. So, after the events of the Purple Wedding, Tyrion is put on trial, and the Red Viper is one of his judges. Now, because he's such an amazing fighter, and Tyrion chooses trial by combat, just like he did in Season 1, if you remember that, the Red Viper agrees to fight for Tyrion if Tyrion will tell him who actually killed his sister, and obviously Tyrion agrees because he has to fight the Mountain, that fucking crazy brother of the Hound. You remember him. So the Red Viper finds out from Tyrion that it was actually Gregor Clegane that killed and raped his sister. So naturally, he proceeds to kick the shit out of him in this trial by combat. I won't tell you what happens at the end of this battle, but the battle itself is really, really awesome because until now, we basically thought that the Mountain is invincible in battle. He's just so huge. Even his brother, the Hound, almost died until the king actually told him to stop. You remember that moment in Season 1 during that tournament. I mean, think about it. The Mountain is the only character on a Game of Thrones that I can think of that is worse than Joffrey. He's basically like Joffrey on steroids. Revenge will be had. Sweet, sweet revenge. Don't you just feel like it's really satisfying when you actually see someone get revenge on a Game of Thrones? We don't really get a lot of those moments because so many good characters end up dying. And don't even get me started on the Red Wedding. Jesus Christ. That's it for spoilers. And if you guys haven't seen it yet, I just posted a thank you video to all of you guys for helping me get to 5,000 subscribers so fast. It's only been a couple months, but it's been amazing. I also talk about some really, really big videos that are coming this summer, as well as a lot of Comic-Con stuff that's coming in the next couple of weeks. Be sure to subscribe to get all those videos. In the meantime, you can click here to watch that big Avengers 2 Joss Whedon update, and you can click here to watch that big thank you video. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Double high fives to everyone. You're totally awesome. To infinity and beyond.